Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 71. My name is Craig Perales, and that is Mandrew Montemayor, and you guys are watching Last Call Gaming. Now, as always, guys, we like you to give a quick pause if you can and go check out some of our other things on social media, whether that be on our Facebook page, whether that be on Instagram at Last Call Productions, or our Twitter at Last Call PRODZ, or if you guys are interested in the audio-only version of this podcast, feel free to check that out on iTunes, on Spotify, and of course, Castbox. And also, guys, if you are interested in any of our Last Call Gaming t-shirts or hoodies or tank tops or anything like that, in the description is a link to the TeePublic stuff. If you guys are looking to get any gear, now's the time to do it. Andrew and I always like to put fans in the shirts in our end of the year video, and right now we're collecting. So if that is something you guys are interested in, check it out, grab something, jump in, and we'll put you in there and give you a nice little shout out. How do you like that?
Honestly, I recommend it anyways because it's actually pretty warm. I actually really like that sweater. I wear it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I love my Last Call Game. Now that's coming in nice, toasty, and because they have the thick ones, they have the thin ones, so it's getting to be winter, so it's that time.
Yeah, and even so, I felt like that baseball tee fit me perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the best baseball tee I've owned for some reason.
See, I like this guy. He's always supporting the cause. Now, as you guys know, we like to have a drink of choice around here, and again, we're breaking out the Last Call production mugs that we had made by Sabrina
that you can
Olander.
read this time.
Yeah, that you can see it. And we've had a few people ask us to do a cocktail, whether that be a Jack and Coke, a whiskey and something. Most of it was always a whiskey something. And that was War Machine was giving us, he was recommending it. And Devin Collins, I wanted to find, you sent me a whiskey and it was the Suntory whiskey. And I can't find it, but Dante, I think, knows where to get it across the river. One of the casinos sell it. So I will look for it for you so we can have it. But what we landed on was the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Apple. Now, I never had it before, and I was going to surprise Andrew. And I found out to my my shock and surprise is that he's had it and he doesn't like it. So this is mixed with Sprite. It's the Tennessee Apple. It's 35%. I don't know. I had 3 of these last night, and they went down nicely. But you don't like them. Is it the apple taste? Is it the whiskey and Sprite combo?
I think that's what it I could drink it straight up. I think that's good. But when it comes to mixing it with something, I think it's the idea of apple and a soda or something like that I think is kind of gross.
Loving it.
My cousin drinks it, so that's how I've had it before. And like I said, I'll do straight shots of it. That's fine. But when it's mixed like this,
so
it ain't for me.
Because we are overall Jack Daniel's fans. I mean, I'm more of I love me some honey whiskey. Jack Daniel's obviously the go-to. I've never had the apple. Have you done the Crown Royal apple?
Yeah.
You like that mixed with anything?
No,
apple in general is off the books.
I just don't think it's a mixable flavor for me. Of all the fucking things that I mix, I love Malibu and pineapple and all kinds of other weird shit, but of all the things to mix, I don't like apple mixed with other shit unless it's cinnamon in a pie.
Well, at least this is unlike the kids' cereal that had no apples in it. This is the real Applejack, and it is made with real apples, so I actually like that.
Like Apple Jacks.
Well, see, you're all over the map, my man.
I'll take it back. That's the one thing. I will drink the Applejack milk.
That's a good milk. That's a solid milk. What other milk would you drink? You a Cocoa Puff guy? Fruity Pebbles milk?
Cocoa Pebbles, Captain Crunch. I love Captain Crunch.
Look, we're already getting off topic. So if you guys got a drink, pause it, go grab one, fill one up, and drink with us as we do the episode. I got to say, I like it. Andrew's not so much, so what are you going to do? So moving into the topic today, the Metal Gear Solid movie adaptation is kind of getting more steam than it has recently, so I kind of wanted to get into a little bit of the background of it before we dive into whether or not we think it's going to be a good movie, because obviously we've said in the past that it should be doable as a movie. But this game is originally came out in 1987 on the NES. That was the original Metal Gear. But the Metal Gear Solid came out on the PS1 in 1998. Now, Hideo Kojima has been talking about starting a Metal Gear Solid movie as far back as 2006. So
forever,
yeah, you can tell this game, it's something he's been wanting to do for a minute. Now, a few names have been attached to it, and this is kind of what I wanted to look at with Andrew. So Avi Arad has been attached as a producer for this project since 2012. Now, this guy has a pretty extensive pedigree when it comes to producing kind of comic book movies and video game movies. He does have a few stinkers under the belt, like Fantastic Four and the Ghost Rider movies, but he's been producing these as far back as all the animated cartoons like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the X-Men. He produced Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He did Into the Spider-Verse. He's doing all the Tom Holland, Far From Home's. Venom. He's attached to Uncharted. He's attached to a Naruto movie that I thought might catch your eye. The new Craven movie. So he's definitely in Sony's wheelhouse, and this is going to be another one that he's on. So I'm happy with that. It seems like he's part of the cause. If you're going to do a video game movie or a comic movie, it seems like this guy's got your back.
Right, yeah, because he's already done something within kind of that realm.
Yeah, and as far back as like, the late 80s and 90s and things like that. So he's good to go. And now the director, Jordan Vo Roberts, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's been attached as the director as far back as 2016. Now, he's the one I'm kind of iffy about. He's got a handful of credits under his name, mostly kind of TV episodes. The two big movies anyone might recognize, one is The Kings of Summer. I've never seen it or heard of it. It's a rated R comedy. I think it's like a coming-of-age movie of some kids. The other one that most people would probably recognize is Kong Skull Island. Fairly good movie. I don't think it did terrible. Obviously, I didn't think it made the money that it wanted to. But the one that everything was buzzing about is now actor Oscar Isaac is now attached to play Solid Snake. Now,
Dameron, yeah, that's your actor.
Yeah. So you know him from Ex Machina, Apocalypse, and the X-Men movies. Obviously, the new Star Wars trilogy, the Triple Frontier Netflix original movie, and he's attached to be Moon Knight in the upcoming Marvel TV show. So before we dive into will or will it not work as a movie, how are you liking that list of talent that so far goes as far back as 2012?
I think it's cool, but I mean, I don't think this movie will ever happen. So anyone who's attached to it, like, I really don't kind of care. I think Oscar Isaac would be a good choice for Solid Snake for sure.
Yeah, he's got that look down. I'm curious though, because why that director? Because here's the other thing. I know a lot of these guys. Some of them know Hideo, so I know he's friends with them. They're obviously fans of the property, and I think jokingly, Oscar Isaac said like in 2019 in an interview, he's like, what project he would like to do. He'd like to be Snake in Metal Gear. So now it's kind of coming full circle. But yeah, I mean, any of these names could really drop until we get into like pre-production and things like that.
Yeah, because this is one of those things, again, that's been floating around for like ever. But I mean, if anything, now's the time, especially if we have like a fucking Monster Hunter movie on the horizon, especially with how popular all the Netflix adaptations have been. They have Resident Evil coming. They already had The Witcher, which did phenomenal numbers. So why not take something that's, no one's really talked about Metal Gear in a while, but that's something that is definitely like a pinnacle hype thing to where if it came out, like I think a shit ton of people would go see it. Because at the very least, even if you're not like a gamer person, I think it's the kind of movie that appeals to those people who like M. Night twist, but also like Jason Bourne and shit like that.
Yeah, it's very tactical espionage-ish, so I mean, I'd like to see that. And Oscar Isaac could definitely do that kind of stuff. So let's move into how do you think it would work as a movie? Because like you mentioned Witcher, I almost would like to see Solid Snake adventure on like an 8-part season 1 of him getting into, whatever kind of, direction they're going to point him into versus maybe an hour and a half, 2-hour movie. But on the other hand, hour and a half to 2-hour movies could easily work for like a tactical espionage kind of thriller movie like that. I mean, do you think a movie's going to be the best way to pursue this? Because obviously, with a movie that's in a franchise, you'd assume they plan on making a part 2 and a part 3.
I don't know if the movie's like the best way to go for something like this, especially because Metal Gear's so famous. One, for all its twists. How many twists can you fit in one movie to where like, okay, this isn't coming off as fucking stupid anymore? But 2, it's all about like the dialogue and the exposition of the characters. Like even the bosses, even just the codec calls, all of that shit just builds and fleshes out this world, and I think that's what's so great about it. It's never really been the gameplay for me, except for Metal Gear Solid 5, I think was like one of the best. That game playing it is like butter. It's so smooth. But even going back and playing like Metal Gear 3 and stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, this game controls like shit.
Right. I'm curious though if they would kind of more, I would assume they would ground it more in reality with characters like Liquid Snake and Revolver Ocelot versus, or do you think they would do the hybrid of kind of mixing with like the paranormal or like the over-the-top characters of like Psycho Mantis for one, or
I
like
think
Vulcan Raven?
That's what makes it, yeah.
I mean, do you think that's what they would do though? They'd probably get rid of, I mean, there might be like a throw-in of like the cardboard box or, some things that make it kind of quirky, but I would like to see a good mix of kind of the sci-fi mixed with like the international thriller.
I think the furthest it would go, because I mean, really thinking about it, it doesn't really kind of go... The bosses don't go off the rail, I don't think, until like 3. Because really in 1, it's just Psycho Mantis is the only one that's kind of crazy. 2, the vampire guy, which is explained like a different... Vamp, which is explained through all kinds of whatever weird shit. The only other person is like the Lady Luck chick, which, I mean, I thought Domino fit good on screen as far as something that would even be along that in Deadpool 2, because that's her mutant powers Lex. So, okay, like, I could definitely see that. It's not as stupid as it kind of really, like, sounds. And I thought the way they portrayed her, they did something like that to portray, like, her power within the movie. It's definitely doable to where I don't feel like, oh, man, this is fucking stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, because I think it would have to have kind of a different aesthetic look compared to like a Born Identity, because I couldn't picture a Psycho Mantis showing up in like a Born Identity. It would have to definitely lend itself to be plausible that you're going to run into, or even someone as huge as like Vulcan Raven. I don't know if you would make him like a CGI character like they did with Juggernaut.
They could just get the Rock's that size.
Or just get some yoked up guy to play him, because I think that's going to be the more, if, like Andrew says, you know, if this movie ever does in fact get made, I'm curious how they fill up the rest of that cast. Oscar Isaac is a great start because he's doing a lot of projects. I mean, especially, you know, he's doing Moon Knight. So I'm wondering where they're going to fit this into the schedule with him. But I want to see who's going to play Liquid. I want to see, because if we get a live action Revolver Ocelot, you know, that Andrew and I did a top video of our favorite villains. We both landed on Ocelot as one of our favorite. I'm curious of who you get to play that. A Sniper Wolf, Meryl, Otacon, like, you know what I mean? I want to see that.
I kind of feel like maybe like a Bryan Cranston could do like a Revolver Ocelot if you grow out like a mustache, especially when he does that kind of that like gritty voice that he does all the time in like Breaking Bad. Like, I'm the one who knocks and like shit like that or whatever. Like, I think he could do it. He'd be for Ocelot. For me, doesn't have to be the world's fucking skinniest guy. Like, I think Bryan Cranston's weight would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, because here's what the direction. Obviously, it's a or an adaptation of Metal Gear Solid. So this is going to be, because anyone that's not familiar with it, it's based on you know, this secret group getting this, you know, military technology, and they want to start doing shit all over the world, right? If you want to read more into it, Metal Gear's plot is so crazy and insane, but that's kind of the gist of it. And I'm curious of where do they dive into it? Do you get like Decoy Octopus to play, you know, that certain character that he was, or does Ninja even make a character in this? Like, there's so much to do, or so much you could play with. I'm curious what's going to be cut out, because that's, I would assume, be the biggest fan for diehard Metal Gear fans is not what they're going to have in it, it's what they can't or is too big to put in it.
Who's to say that they even start at Solid and don't start at like Metal Gear?
Well, I think in the report it says that they're focusing on Solid. 33-year-old Solid Snake, and focusing on that story. And again, but that story is so, I don't want to say epic, but it can be very convoluted with a lot of things in it, and you got to obviously pick your plot points of who's going to be essential
there's
and
a lot of fat to trim.
And who's obsolete.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what they're going to do. And again, though, I'm kind of more in the Andrew boat. I don't know if this movie is going to get made, and if it is, probably not anytime soon. I mean, with COVID still running around, but they're not. Once this thing starts saying, "Hey, we're in production," you know, I'll have a bigger smile on my face.
I'll say right now, like, this movie could look like Monster Hunter and be hot dog shit, and I'll still go see it, like, in a heartbeat. Like, I would have to go and see it, but I'll honestly probably end up seeing Monster Hunter too.
I try to go see all the video game movies. Like, I want to support them. I went and saw Tomb Raider, World of Warcraft. Even if there's Sonic the Hedgehog and Detective Pikachu happen to be the surprise hits that nobody thought was coming, but Monster Hunter I'd like to go see with you. And of course, if and when MGS ever comes out, that's a day oneer for sure.
I hope, more importantly, what this does, because it's been rumored for a while, leads to some sort of like Metal Gear remakes or something like that, because it's been a while since 5, and then they put out that shitty zombie survival game, Metal Gear Survive, that I think bombed. So I didn't even bother giving it the time of day. So I would love a Metal Gear revival.
Yeah,
and bring back David Hayter. Just have Oscar Isaac play it, but David Hayter voices all.
Let him be in something. He has to make a cameo, even if he's Colonel. I'd be awesome with it. So leave your guys' opinion down below. Let us know.
Janitor number 4.
Oh, that'd be perfect. If you think the movie's ever going to come out, if you think the lineup's good, that was kind of the more thing. I wanted to point out like who was actually attached to this, if that's right, if it's wrong. I think the director may be a tad weak. The producer definitely seems to be the guy, and Oscar Isaac's a fine choice. So, anything else you want to add on that?
Nope.
So that is the end of that, guys. Leave your comments down below. Really only that story that dropped earlier today, so that's where we're covering it. Now we're going to move into ripping it up. So, Andrew, I know you got a lot on your mind, pal. Why don't you start us off?
Sure. Because it's been a little bit of a slower week, but not for games. They just showed off the Game Pass for December, which has a ton of games on there. And I just wanted to put a couple highlights on there, again, to just show off that crazy value, because I'm actually personally been looking forward to a lot of these, and I'm going to be jumping into them. So one of them already up now is Control. which came out
last year.
Yeah, last year. I know you already beat it.
Loved it. Loved it. Not liked it. Loved it.
I don't think it's that like next gen hype one that's all redone or anything. I don't even think that comes out until later. But either way, just base game, I'm sure it'd run a lot better, especially on the Series X as it is. Haven, which just came out. I actually downloaded it, already started it. We'll get into that a little bit later. And that's a day one launch game too. Rage 2 is going to be on there. You also have Dragon Quest 11, which is going to be the definitive edition. So that game's already been out on the Switch. The original came out on the PlayStation 4. That's also going to be another day one game.
And the first time a Dragon Quest has ever been on Xbox.
Yeah, so I'm actually really stoked for that one.
That's a good one.
Call of the Sea, which is another day one game. That one actually looks pretty interesting too. I want to try that. Greedfall was another kind of, I think, a big game that kind of went under the radar because there was probably so much going on at the time, but I know you played it. You
beat it, loved it.
And then they even put out some DLC on there as well too. So like that new Steel Dawn DLC that was for Fallout 76 is on there. If anyone's still playing that, again, that's already going to get you to value. Plus Minecraft Dungeons DLC too, which I had a great time playing it, that I might actually re-download the game to go do the DLC.
Yeah, that actually would be some DLC I'd like to play. Yeah, just to point out, Control and Greedfall both came out last year. If you guys watch our top videos of last year, they're both on it. I think they're either 5 and 4 or 5 and 3. Two games that are awesome. Greedfall, I think a lot of people did sleep on. It's a very excellent game. Control was fantastic, and I'm seeing a lot of these are popping to Android and console. Is that just meaning that you can play it from the cloud on your phone, right? Anything that's on Android means you can now play it on the go.
Right.
So it's cool how many of these games are actually popping up on that. I think everybody that has a Game Pass should play Control. Greedfall, not so much. It's kind of more like a fantasy Outer Worlds. So if that catches your eye. Haven, we just started that, so more to say in a bit. Doom Eternal moving to PC. That's always good. The game I wanted to check out, and it's spelled differently, but I'm just calling it Valhalla. Was that
I actually wrote it down.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
a bartender.
VA11.
Yeah, it's got an odd name, but that looked kind of cool. And Monster Sanctuary was another game I wanted to check out. And like Andrew's pointed out, I would say this is probably the pinnacle of where Game Pass is shining. Like this isn't like PlayStation or Xbox Live giving you 2 to 4 games a month. This is like what, 5, 10, almost 15 games. All in December.
And a couple are day ones.
And that you can play in different places, whether that be on your phone, whether that be on PC, or whether that be on your console. Just another brilliant reason why Game Pass is moving in a way that there's no complaints.
I think the biggest one on there for me is Dragon Quest 11.
Dragon Quest 11. It sucks because I already beat Control, I already beat Greedfall. I actually did just start playing Rage 2 because I just wanted to see what that was about. Because I know it didn't do as good as a lot of people wanted it to, especially when comparing it to like Borderlands. But starting it off, I did the first beginning part. It's not too bad.
Didn't they say the first one did better?
Yeah, I think they did.
I remember everyone loving the first one, I think, and I didn't hear too much.
Yeah,
about
I didn't get
two.
far enough in it to know where the downfalls are. But
either way, I at least want to try a lot of these games. I mean, they all look like it's something. Even if I hate it, it deserves at least an hour of my time.
At least, yeah. And Call of the Sea again. A lot. We were talking earlier off camera. This puts a lot of games in people's forefront that they wouldn't have gone out and bought.
Especially right now with everything coming out.
These are all games you can play. So excellent, man. Anything else you want to add on that?
No, your turn.
Then I'm going to point out, guys, that Microsoft is picking up more than just studios developing games. Microsoft has just recently acquired Smash.gg esports platform. So I'm going to read you a quick passage. This is from GameRant.com, and it says, over the past few years, Microsoft has busily been acquiring first-party studios and solidifying its status as a leader in the video game software space. What gamers perhaps did not expect was Microsoft to turn its sights to the realm of esports as well. Yet an announcement on the website Smash.gg has revealed that Microsoft recently acquired the platform, which facilitates the organization of esports tournaments. Smash.gg originally came about in 2015 when a group of esports fans decided to make a space where gamers could easily organize Super Smash Bros. Tournaments. In just a few short years, the site has grown to support over 6,000 event organizers across a broad spectrum of games. The site provides assistance with registration and keeping track of brackets for online and live esports events of all size. Now, the article goes on to continue kind of some of what it does and speculation of what it may or may not do. Two things, I look at it as good and bad. Good, it's obviously good if something that was small and started off as players finally gets bought out by the big guys. That's always kind of the dream when you start something in this space. You want to get paid and recognized for what you're doing. My only slight concern, and I don't think it should be that big, is, you know, as deep as pockets as Microsoft has, we saw what they did with Mixer. You know, something that they started, and
this would have been something good paired with Mixer.
Exactly, and I don't think they would cancel it in 2 years or 5, whatever it is, because they can bankroll it. But I would hate to see something as cool as this fall to the same thing as cool as Mixer was, just because for the first year, 2 or 3 years they had it, it didn't work out.
Right.
And I gotta say though, it is cool to see that this is all a tournament-based things, and Microsoft isn't just looking at building up their portfolio of first-party studios, that they're getting into tournament space, and because they're on there, they do Forza, they do Gears, they do Halo, but now they're gonna be able to do so much. And I think a lot of people were pointing out is that this might give chance for a lot of maybe like not so much AAA games, but like indie games that have, you know, multiplayer that kind of shine. So I mean, you saw it. Anything cool that you want to point out, or is this maybe take with a grain of salt, and we'll kind of see what they do over the next year?
I just wonder like how easy it is to get into it, and if it's something you have to be there for, because I didn't look too much into it. Because if I could register, and Microsoft's going to start hosting like little contests stuff all the time, especially with the next Halo or whatever like that, I would enter something like that all the time. I've already kind of been doing like Call of Duty Warzone lobbies that are like private with people holding their own contests and stuff like that.
Have you?
Everything, yeah, kind of.
That's how you do it with your brother, don't you?
Yeah, my brother and my cousin. So we've been dabbling in some stuff like that I would definitely be. I like doing stuff like that,
yeah.
Even if I get my ass kicked, just to say that I tried, I got in there, and if I happen to do well, then I did better than what I think might be players that are, you know, top tier, whatever. It's cool to kind of have that.
Yeah, and I think it's really kind of cool because up until, I mean, I know there's a lot of things out there that do this, and I know a lot more online players do this than Andrew and I. But once Microsoft buy it, it puts that name on the map for a lot of people that never knew about it. So even if you're unaware of this website, now it's an article. Now it's in news. Yeah, this just happened over the last few days. So if you were looking for more tournaments to find a game that you like, maybe now's the time to get into it now, because now Microsoft is kind of blowing it up. So I always think it's good to put a spotlight on things that maybe not everybody knew about. So that is all I have for that. So Andrew, let's move into a little, what are you playing?
I actually just finished Yakuza 7. Then I did Untitled Goose Game because that was actually pretty quick.
Oh.
Actually, I really loved Yakuza. Goose Game was fun. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I'm not like diehard for it or nothing.
But a quick game.
I just started Haven, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I played like 30 or so minutes into it, but yeah. I'm already loving the characters, loving the music, love like the dynamic between the two. It's actually been a while since I played a game where like you have people that are like in a relationship that's not just like, oh, all right, love you, honey, bye. Yeah. Like they're constantly like cuddling, doing whatever like relationship shit or whatever. That's like, okay, you know, this is like really cool. Like it's more believable than other games where it's like, oh, all right, love you, bye.
Boo. Yeah, because I started playing it too because Andrew was texting me earlier today, and so I delved some time into it. It is cool because, yeah, because there's options of how you can pick, and it's spoken for both the male and the female, and just depending on what you pick, it can build confidence in their things. So that was a cool dynamic. I'm interested to see A, how far along it takes to see where that goes, and B, you know, how far or how long is the actual game. But other than that, was there anything else you're playing?
No, but I did want to note visually too. This game is like beautiful. Like I think
beautiful.
I think it's a good looking game, Haven.
So because last episode you said you were gonna play Assassin's Valhalla. You're gonna put that on the back burner until after Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah. It might even go after Dragon Quest 11.
So you are gonna do Dragon Quest. You are gonna do it?
I think so.
You animal. And nothing after Haven until Cyberpunk.
Right.
Okay. Nice. Anything else you want to add on what you're gonna do? I don't want you playing Dragon Quest. You're gonna get lost, my man.
I would love to though.
Okay. No Switch games?
I still have to beat those Marios.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. So again, I what I've been playing is just started Haven, but I'm further in Miles Morales. I'd probably say maybe halfway through the game. I tore up that map. I went and found all the collectibles and all that stuff beforehand. I put it on the back burner. Not only it's so odd moving from the Series X to like a PlayStation 4. You notice load times. Like I'm playing the game and like even though they're not bad, like I'm still like like I missed the 2-second load time. So I started playing Gears Tactics again on the Game Pass. Totally sucked me in, grabbed my attention. I recommend everyone should play it. It's a nice tactile shooting game. Build up your team. I just beat that. We'll have a review on that shortly. And I want to go back and finish Eichenfeld, which is a small game done by Happy Ray Games, again on the Game Pass. And then I think I'm going to dive back into Miles Morales.
All before Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I can feel him on the last boss, and Gears Tactics is done. Miles Morales, I think I only have maybe, I would say 7 to 10 hours left, so I can do that before December 10th. So that's good to be when I'm playing. But guys, leave us down what you're playing. If there's a game we should be checking out or buying or playing on Game Pass or anything else like that, let us know what you're up to, because that's what we like to do around here. We like to know.
I'm down to try anything.
So let's move into video game questions of the week. So the first question comes from Chris Trejo, and he says, did you guys see the news that Mark Dara and Casey Hudson are leaving/retiring from BioWare? Does this mean trouble? Keep up the good work. #LastCallGaming. Andrew, these are big figures in the BioWare space. What are you taking away from it?
Yeah, I actually did see this. I sent this to Craig the other day, but I haven't really been like a huge BioWare fan for me to make an episode about it and like sit here and talk about it. I did see that the guy who left had actually left before, came back, and then left again. It could be trouble. I don't know. I would have to look into it. See, that's the thing, is I don't know exactly like where these guys were heads of, but I know coming off of Anthem, not Anthem.
I got it right here. So the two guys are, so one was the BioWare CEO, Casey Hudson. Maybe that's a girl or not. I'm not sure. Casey Hudson. And the other one was the Dragon Age CEO, Mark Dara. So one was the CEO of the company. The other one was the main guy for the Dragon Age series.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the last Dragon Age did particularly well.
Inquisition?
I know it's not like hated or anything like that, but I don't think it did gangbusters numbers. And then, especially too with like the last like Mass Effect, the last Mass Effect didn't do
Andromeda
anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might raise a lot of eyebrows, or at least concern with people that are looking forward. BioWare is not the tank that it used to be. When BioWare used to make a game, everyone was like, yeah, I mean, these guys are responsible for, one of the greatest trilogies, Mass Effect, for a generation. And, Dragon Age 1 and 2 were extremely well. Everyone was looking forward to it. I like Andromeda, but it kind of fell flat. And then, of course, Inquisition didn't do exactly what they wanted it to do. So if you're losing guys, because Casey Hudson has been there since 1998, and they're responsible for making sure games like Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect ran good, correctly, on time. And Mark Dara with Dragon Age has been there since the 90s, being a part of all that. So if you're losing two of the best guys that were running some of your best games, I don't know how that could be good. I mean, maybe it's not detrimental and it's bad, but it can't be moving BioWare in a good way, because especially, like Andrew said, they're coming off of Anthem, which no one really knows what's going on with that. I know like the 2.0 patch or something's coming. I don't know what they're going to do, and Dragon Age does kind of need some help. And Mass Effect, I know they're doing the Legendary, repackage, but, it kind of sucks to lose these two guys, because as of right now, they're saying all the projects are going to continue as scheduled, and Christian Daly, who's the former Anthem boss, is taking on the management of Dragon Age series, so I don't know if I like that. And then so far there's no replacement for Hudson yet, and EA's Samantha Ryan is going to lead it for now. So the fact that the second role, actually, and the bigger role isn't even finished, I don't know if that's necessarily spells good news for BioWare. I mean,
I don't think it spells bad, especially if they don't have to fill that role right away. I kind of took it more as like a restructuring. Again, these past couple games we've done haven't put up the numbers that we've been wanting. Mm-hmm. So let's try and shake things up a little bit and see what happens. What could it hurt? And again, I take that by the fact that seat isn't filled right away. If they don't have someone that's okay, we got to get somebody in there, whatever, then they must not be hurting that bad.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is it's not on bad terms. Everything
that's what it says.
What? Oh, yeah, everything I was reading, it says that, these guys are leaving on, they're sad to see things that they've been around with so long, that they're not going to be a part of anymore. But these guys are just retiring. It's not like they're, at least so far, not like they're quitting to go do something else. It seems like they've kind of hit the end of their road. Guys that have been working there since the 90s, maybe this is just their time. And I don't know if it's the best time for BioWare to be cheering, but, they've done their part, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, we'll find out with the next game, I guess.
Yeah, because I believe Dragon Age is supposed to have a debut trailer. I think it was by Dragon Age on the Game Awards next week.
Hopefully.
So,
cool.
We'll see what happens. And if it looks good to go. So, thank you for the question, and let us know what you think. Next question comes from Abenstein, and he says, video game question of the week. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, but I would love to. What games you guys have never played but have always wanted to? I don't know if there's really anything like old that I would like crave to play, or I mean, there's a lot of things I'd love to own just for the sake of nostalgia or value. But I know Andrew's been riding me on this one. I still need to play Res 2 and 3 Remake. Those are two games that I need to get on, and they're probably going to get pushed to 2021. Just because I got a feeling Cyberpunk's going to take the majority of the back half of December. So other than that, I can't really think of anything else that I need to play. Obviously, Dead Space, but with so many new games moving forward, it's the more games that come out, it's always hard to backtrack and go play something older because there's just, you don't want to fall behind, and especially with what we do, you don't want to not be playing the current stuff and revisiting the old. But RE2 and 3 are both new enough that I think I would take the time to do that and watch Andrew's speed run through Resident Evil 3 and beat it in what, 2 hours, an hour and a half?
I don't even remember now. It's been a little bit.
So I don't know. Is there anything that you wish you've played, missed?
Yeah, actually for me it'd probably be Mass Effect, because everyone hyped up Andromeda that when I played it, I thought the game sucked, and I never played any of the other ones. So I'll get my chance now that they're actually going to be doing that revamped Mass Effect, because I did not want to go back and play the other things because they're definitely old and dated, and I did not want to have to deal with any of that.
You can split that.
I was like, the most I could maybe hope would be to play 3, but once they announced it, I was like, okay, cool. I'll definitely be up to split it, try it, get in there and see what that's all about. And then if I hate it, I hate it. But at least I could say that I gave what the pinnacle of a franchise was a chance versus just playing it when it was downtrodden.
Yeah, the fourth spin-off that
nobody asked for.
Yeah. So thank you for the question, and anybody else watching, what have you not played that you want? Last question comes from Mike M, and he writes, video game question of the week. On topic of DLC, which game or franchise do you wish would have another DLC, and for what purpose? I would gladly play near full game prices for DLC. Add one to Pokemon Sword and Shield that would add on one of the previous gen's region. That's always a good idea. $45 to $55 to take my team in the current open world playstyle to head back and beat some Kanto gyms. Sounds great. Hard to argue that one. You can keep adding on DLC to Pokemon games and adding on old regions to go back
Pokemon's always a good one for something like that.
I was thinking to kind of piggy, because I'm not a big DLC guy. There's a few games that I've played DLC on, like the Spider-Man, I like to go back and play. And I think a lot of the games that people do play that want more are the games for service, as a service, you know what I mean? Like, those are constantly evolving to add new things. So, but to piggyback off of yours, it would have been cool if a Pokemon Snap, and I know they're developing one, would have came out, and every time a new genre came out, they added a new world for the Snap to go on, and now you can go take pictures of that. I mean, I don't think it would be that hard to just kind of move it over, and maybe that's something they do in the future, but it would have been, because Pokemon Snap was a great game, but extremely short, and it would have been cool if once you did, the original Red and Blue, then you could do Gold and Silver, then you could do, Crystal and Diamond or whatever it was, so.
I kind of wish Resident Evil 3 had some of it, because I actually had fun doing Resident Evil 2's. Resident Evil 2 had a different option at the end, and I wish it was done differently. Capcom hired me because I had a better idea than what you did.
Whoa, you got to show support.
But you play as other people who were like survivors, and they're like what if scenarios. So you play as the mayor's daughter, and you've escaped Chief Brian's, and you're trying to get like out of the sewer. It's Hunk's mission, or she's not in the sewer, she's out in the city. But Hunk's mission is also a part of it too. You also do one is, I forget, Kendo. You do one for him too, and these other people potentially trying to escape the city. My idea, which would have been better, would be actually to play their scenarios, even if it's only for an hour, of how they got to wherever it is you meet them in the city. So her, spoilers, especially in the original, doesn't matter. She gets killed and stuffed by Chief Brian's. But how does she make her way to the PD? I would have liked to play an hour of her adventure, especially because she's not a fighter who doesn't use guns or anything like that. She's just some kid. I would like to see how she got there. But I would have liked to see more of that in 3. Plays maybe like some of the other people that you meet, or just like little different scenarios or something like that. Because I actually had a lot of fun with 3, and I enjoyed doing that part of it too.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. Bring on a little hour, 2 hour long things of characters of good AAA games or something like that. Like, nothing wrong with that. Excellent question, man. I'm more curious what other people are going to say about it, because I'm not a big DLC guy. So, I mean, Control might be one of the games I get the Ultimate Edition just to play all the bonus stuff, because that game is so well done. Off the top of my head, it's hard for me to think of like what more. Like, even Borderlands is a game where it comes out with DLC after DLC after DLC. I don't go back and play it once I beat the actual game.
Yeah, so. I'm not kind of big on that stuff either.
So that is the last question of the week. And guys, we have a new contest and we're giving away new stuff. So this is going to be a short clip that shows you what it is and how you win it. Check it out. Welcome guys to the official Last Call Gaming 3-pack giveaway. This is going to be the contest where we give the winner a choice of their games on the Xbox One, the new Series X and S, the PS4, the PS5, or the Switch. So if you win this contest, you can mix and match it between any of those systems. Now, as of right now, any and all countries are available for this contest. So regardless of where you live, we will find a way to either get the games to you, whether you want them physically or digitally. Now, the contest is running, it already has started, and it started on November 26th. It's gonna run all the way to January 7th, 2021, and the winner will be announced on January 8th. Now, episode-wise, watch our Last Call Gaming episodes. It started on episode 70, and it's gonna run all the way to episode 75, and the winner will be announced on episode 76. So that will be early in January 2021. Once the winner is announced, guys, we will give you all the way till the end of January to pick out which 3 games you want, what systems you want them on, and how you would like to play them, again, whether that be physically or digitally. So guys, best of luck to you. Make sure you check out all the episodes. Make sure you guys enter, because the comment that you need to enter is Last Call Gaming. Make sure you put that in all the episodes from 70 to 75. That is going to be how we pick the winners. All right, guys, that is the contest. That is how you win it. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. So, again, guys, leave down below any comments and let us know how you feel about everything that we go over, anything you want us to drink in the future, any questions you want to ask, whether it be video game related or not. Leave down below and we will check it out. So guys, that is it. Andrew, anything else you wanna sign off to the kids with?
No, I'll give you a toodaloo.
Toodaloo. So until next time, guys, my name is Craig Perales and that is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers. Because I know Dragon Quest was a big one. You and Gino were like talking about it, but like, I don't know, man. I could take a hard pass on that. And
I looked up how long to beat, and it said 50 hours, which is
but that's like ending 1 though. Like,
is there more than one?
Yeah,
ending?
It's got like 6 endings.
I don't think so.
Yes.
No.
You're in trouble, sir.
I don't think so, because I looked up the. I think it's one of those games where,
no.
Like, if you don't do something,
yeah, it's got an ending. But if you want like the real ending, then you got to do something else. And if you want the real ending, you got to do something else.
Yeah, and I think I could do that.
So you're just gonna do it and beat in core beat it?
No, I still think
you have the real endings.
Yeah, because you could just save glitch it, like create a save, end it, go back to your save, and then keep playing. Like I think.
If you want to take 100 hours to beat this game, by all means.
It's not gonna take 100 hours.
What do you want to bet? I bet you it's over 50 for you to get.
Final it's going to be over 50 because I'm going to let it sit there a lot, too. But
well, I'm talking core play.
Core play, it'll for sure be over 50, but...
Over 60? There's no way you're beating that game faster than, like, that's what I'm saying. I think you'd beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla faster than you beat Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah, but I've already... I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla when I played Odyssey last year and Origins the year before that.
Yeah, but you didn't do it in the Viking setting. No Viking skins?
They already had a game like that. What was that fucking game that came out that was also from Ubisoft? The fucking fighting one with like the Vikings and the different and the knights.
For Honor?
Yeah, right there. That was my.
You never played it.